This coming December will mark 100 years since you Ohioans had the foresight to create the Theodore Roosevelt Game Preserve. I love what you have done with the place. I'm sure naming the smaller of the two lakes here after me was an oversight.
Today we're celebrating 100 years of conservation. In 1922, the state of Ohio dedicated it to Theodore Roosevelt as a game preserve. It was a place to bring back all the wildlife that had been lost due to overhunting and mismanagement over the years. And today it's Shawnee State Park and Forest, and we're just celebrating all the success we've had with conservation over the years.
We have to pay respect to those who had the great vision that brought wildlife and wild places back from the brink of just sheer collapse at the turn of the last century. We've got a lot of work to do in the future and different challenges, but I think you have to start with where you came from to understand it all, and that's why we wanted to pay our respect today. I would say, since we're talking about a president who's on Mount Rushmore, we should be honest and just say forthright that Governor DeWine has been a champion for conservation and deserves appreciation for that role.
Without conservation, we would have absolutely nothing, and so it's the backbone of not just our state parks, but our entire world. 100 years from now, I'm going to make sure we're still celebrating, because when I eventually have a family of my own, I'm going to bring them here to go camping. So just continuing to educate and get people excited about coming here, so that in 100 years, they'll want to have an event even bigger than the one we had this year.
Our own Governor, Mike DeWine, with his visionary H2Ohio program and his commitment to public lands has certainly made himself a candidate for Ohio's Mount Rushmore of conservation. As much as Theodore Roosevelt was instrumental in the birth of conservation in the U.S., it set the stage for what is ultimately more than 100 wildlife areas across the state, comprised of more than 200,000 acres of huntable land on those wildlife areas. So hats off to our President Theodore Roosevelt. Thank you.
This area, this park, was dedicated in 1922 as the Theodore Roosevelt Game Preserve. 3 years after my corporal demise, unfortunately, so I was not here to enjoy the park. During my presidency, when Congress placed limitations on my power to designate national parks and forests in an essential agricultural bill, I met with Gifford Pinchot. We spread out maps on the floor of the Oval Office, and in the 10 days before I had to sign that bill, I designated 16 million acres of new national forest. I believe that every generation needs to leave the gifts that God has given to us in a better state so that future generations enjoy them as we have.